Okay, I was looking it up. Nemo me, was it, the lacessit? Nemo me impune. Yeah, Nemo me impune lacessit. And then the other was Noli me, and it was like Kal something. And it was that don't tread on me, like literally do not walk upon me. But the first one, nome me impune lacessit, so I will not be insulted without reprisal. And so the whole idea at the Gadsden flag, this idea that it's something from some racist history of America. This is, again, because it's public school teachers. These are people of inferior ability to tell the truth, or inferior ability to do research, or they're unqualified to teach children, or they're not really scholars. School teachers generally are people who are at the lowest end of high intelligence. They're slightly above average intelligence. And we like to think of them as much smarter than they are, much more intelligent than they are. And but nome impune lacessit, the Gadsden flag. The whole thing about it is this actually goes back so far that it goes back to actually the reference is not to a snake, because of course that wouldn't make sense if it came from the British Isles. It refers to the thistle. And in Scotland, that's the order of the thistle is what comes from this. That thistle was planted, and it would be planted in large bushes. I'm using the wrong term. Everybody knows what I'm referring to. It's like an old-fashioned British way of securing your property. And it's not bushes. There's a term for it. Hedges. Yeah, hedges. And that it was because of the thistle hedges that were planted in defense from raiders, from Viking raiders and Danish raiders. That's where that's the origin of where that comes from. Nome impune lacessit. So, and then also the other versions, don't tread on me, because supposedly Vikings come to invade Scotland, and they're discovered during their invasion sneaking up because they stepped into the thistles. And so that's the origin. That's why you then have thistle as the symbol of Alabama, because so many people from Scotland and the Scottish Highlands, when they got cleared, ended up there. That becomes a historical symbol of their people. So this is actually the symbol of the poorest white people who are fundamentally brought here pretty much by force and used as manual labor to establish most of everything. So these people were here prior to black slavery. There were not African slaves yet. In the United States at that point, and that's where these people came from, and they were literally cleared from their land and brought here. And it was, and when you go back into more and more of the stories, you end up finding like this was the period of time that you could use land as fundamentally an asset, and then what you end up doing is you're just this landholder, and everybody on the land, there's no real, you don't have to make money on the land anymore. It just held value. And then it was because of some policy, and it was pretty complicated. I had to look into it. It took a while for me to understand, but this is why you then end up getting like the Irish immigration too. It wasn't a potato famine. It wasn't the potato blight. It was no. They were being mistreated. They were literally being kind of run off of farms, because there was no need for them, for the lords to produce food. And that wasn't what the value was coming from anymore for their land. And they were just sitting on land, and it was valuable in itself. And it was simply because of that. And I would have to look into it again. And it's when I was looking up the origin of the term Scots-Irish, because people kept talking about this. And so this is really what this is about. This is a bunch of inferior white women who, and feminine adjacent humans. So these men who are quasi-men that want to eliminate the very idea that they just want to eliminate the history of poor white people. That's what it is. They're just Yankees. So some of these people might not be Yankees, but they want to be considered kind of like Yankees. Like they're smart like Yankees. They have they're high post. But they're high post, but really they're low. They're low people. They're high posting. And so they're, I want to remember that. I'm trying to remember that tune from what June Carter said. That you say you're high post, but you're really, and I forget what it was. I think it was the long-legged guitar picking man. And the, you loudmouth woman, you long-legged guitar picking man. Oh my God, love that song. That's one of the best songs. One of the best songs ever. She'll be dancing on a pony keg. That's I swear to imagine June Carter just dancing around on a keg. Oh my God, she must have been so tiny. I realized when I saw like some images of her, like, oh my God, like she's a tiny little thing. And like, imagine that voice. I mean, that voice, the way, if you were to see her when she was like a kid, this voice coming out of this girl that, so tiny. Anyway, see, but that's the thing. All that has to be erased. Because the only thing that matters is Lady Gaga, who's Madonna number 3. Britney Spears might have been Madonna 2.5. I'm not sure. Was Christina Aguilera or Britney Spears Madonna number 2? Just, like, it's like, like a reboot, a reimagining of Madonna. So, that's what they need to do. They have to erase and demonize everything that is historically was good and just and has a real is a real part of the culture. They have to demonize the culture itself and then just make things up, because most American school teachers they're just inferior people. They're starting to show this, that this is, and that this should just be accepted so that people stop trusting that they're, like 4J is a joke. 4J is a fucking joke. Eugene, Oregon's 4J school district is a fucking joke. You look at, if you have a talk with some of these fucking millennials and Gen Zers in this area, these mouth breathers when it comes to almost any subject other than like popular culture. Yeah. But that's how people want it. That's what people want here. God damn, what the fuck? Oh well. Okay. Well, so I just wanted to touch on that, because this controversy with this young man having a Gadsden flag on, and you see what it does. It triggers liberals. It triggers communists. That's what it is. It's a symbol of the republic and communist school teachers who are worthless and inferior, who have this easy job that was handed to them by legislation. They have to think like this, because they have to fight the real culture. A lot of black Americans better get this. James Brown is going to just be another wife beater, like Ike Turner. That's what they're going to say about them. Just another wife beater like Ike Turner. They're going to say Sam Cooke, he just was a womanizer. He just used women. That's what they're going to say. They already, remember, it's cold outside. They already were dissing that. Fat, ugly, white, worthless pieces of shit. These big, fat, white girls with bad tattoo work were, talking about how this is inherently sexist. Stupid whores. And so a lot of people just need to start getting this, that it's like, no. It's the either women want their children to succeed, which means that the hoes don't listen to hoes. Don't listen to the women. Unless these are women who are rich, don't listen to them. They don't have advice. They have no advice that's good. If it's just some old woman who, she's sassy, she knows things. Was she able to keep her husband? No, then don't listen to her. Oh, is this a female school teacher? Is she rich? Now, also, does she hate communism? Does she hate it because it's inherently bad, and communists and socialists like to wipe out the people of their country? No. Socialism is misunderstood. Oh, no. I understand perfectly. Just another fucking commie whore. So that's the way these people really are. And they hate all culture. They're just trying to figure out when it's safe for them to criticize it. Remember, they already are lining up hatred of Asian Americans. The Democrats are already lining up hatred of Asian Americans. The Democrats are going to start lining this up versus Vivek Ramaswamy. Watch. I'm betting you. They're going to try to, act like he's a confused Hindu. He doesn't understand this country. He's confused. Because that's what they do with black people. They go. It's amazing when you hear what liberals really think of conservative black people. When they really go off, it's all racial stuff. It gets so racial. It is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Atheists. I remember, what was that one, Steve Shives? Oh my God, the way he would go off on religious black people, and it was just like, yeah. You just hate black American culture is what it really is, Steve. You just can't stand that Christianity is a fundamental part of black American culture, that you wouldn't have James Brown without the black church. You wouldn't have Martin Luther King without the black church. So, yeah, that's just how that goes. Later.